I saw the crab boats pulling up. I saw the crabs being steamed over here, and I thought this was going to be a really good spot. I'm going throughout Maryland, the crab capital of the United States, to find the 16 coolest crab restaurants, and so far, I've visited 10 of them. And as of right now, here are my top 10. And I'm ranking these crab places based on the crabs, the seasoning, the vibe of the restaurant, and of course the price as well. And I'm going to go to 3 more crab houses a day, with all of them being on the Maryland's Eastern Shore. Okay, so I'm back on Maryland's Eastern Shore, and the first stop is going to be in Rock Hall. Now there are a few options, but the one that I chose is on the water, and it's called the Waterman's Crab House. This is my first time to Rock Hall, and honestly, the area around the restaurant was pretty cool. I walked behind it and noticed that there were some crabs steaming behind the restaurant, which was a good sign. Before I went in and sat down and got a table, I decided to walk around the marina that kind of surrounded the restaurant. There was a charter boat row, which had a few boats on there, but not as many as I expected, and maybe because they were out on this beautiful Friday. After walking around a little more, I headed inside, and I was surprised to see just how updated it was inside the restaurant. Now, I decided not to sit inside, but rather sit outside because it was a beautiful day. And the outside was actually really nice as well. You were right on the water, and if you look close enough, you can see the Chesapeake Bay Bridge off in the distance from where I was sitting. I ordered my half dozen crabs and of course got an iced tea. It came with a plastic knife again, a crab mallet, and a bucket to put your scraps. The crabs came out within about 5 minutes or so, and when they came out, they looked pretty good. Most of them were right around that 6-inch range, and I got large, so that does make sense, and all of them were pretty well seasoned. Now it was time to taste the claw, of course, first, and I got the plastic knife, used the mallet to kind of crack it open. I find this the easiest way to do it so you don't get a bunch of shell in the meat as you open the claw. After a few whacks, I was able to break the claw open, and it was time to give this one a taste. And while I did think it tasted okay, it did lack the sweetness of like a typical Maryland crab to me. Next, I mixed up my J.O. and apple cider vinegar and got to work picking the crab's body. The body meat had a similar taste to the crab claw meat. While it was good, it wasn't super sweet, and at $60 for a half dozen, I was a little bit disappointed. Okay, I'm back from Waterman's, and I gotta be 100% honest, I'm a little bit torn right now, because I really like the vibe, the feel of the whole place. I saw the crab boats pulling up, I saw the crabs being steamed over here, and I thought this was gonna be a really good spot. The seasoning was really good, the crabs were a good size, and when they came out they were warm, and the first claw actually looked okay. But when I tasted it, it just tasted off. Now, I'm not saying they were bad crabs or that they were ones that, should be sent back. They just weren't as good and as fresh and as sweet as some of the top ones. And so I'm going into my head right now to think where that would stack up against the other ones. And I would put it above definitely Captain Billy's because of the feel and because the crabs are better than Captain Billy's. I think I'm going to put it above Mike's as well because every single crab was packed. They weren't the sweetest tasting crabs, but every single crab had a ton of meat in it, and I like the seasoning better than Mike's. But again, it's that line with Abner's. Now, here's where it comes down to it. Abner's crabs tasted better, Abner's crabs are cheaper, but it didn't have the same vibe. So in my head, I think I gotta keep Abner's above Waterman's for right now and go ahead and put Waterman's above Mike's but below Abner's. The next spot is still on the Eastern Shore, and it was actually just across the street from one of the ones that are ranked in the top 3. Okay, I'm at the next crab house, and before I tell you what it is, I want to remind you too that the last 3 that I'm going to be doing in the final video are going to be viewer choice. Right now, I'd say that Red Roost in Quantico and Mr. Bill's Terrace in Essex are the 2 that are really standing out, but if there are other ones that you want me to try, make sure you make a comment of what it is and get as many likes as possible, and I will go there. So for this one, I'm still on the Eastern Shore, and it's right across the road from one I've already been to. I'm gonna go in and check out Harris Crab House. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I walked up to Harris Crab House, I was a little taken back by the parking lot. It feels really industrial up front, and you don't get the waterfront vibe until you walk out to the back. Inside the restaurant was actually really well done too. It was newer, and I love those oyster can labels that were on the wall. You can see walking outside, while the patio is not huge, there was plenty of seating and it was right on the water, which I love. There was a fair amount of bridge noise from the Kent Narrows Bridge, but overall it was actually a pretty nice setting and it was cool to watch the boats go by. Now my crabs came out super quick, and I overheard my waitress saying that these were the last 10 larges they had. Just like the other restaurants, I got my crab mallet and of course another plastic knife. Guys, I think we need to change from plastic knives to metal knives. I think it would make the experience so much better. At least for me it would. Now it's time to try the claw on the very first crab. You know what I do? I break it using the knife, give it a dip in the JO, and this stuff was absolutely good. The claw tasted sweet, you could tell the crab meat was pretty fresh, and I was actually hopeful that this was going to be up there in the top like 5 or maybe even top 8. As I picked out this crab, I still felt that way. This was a nice, full crab, and after breaking it open and giving it a taste, I felt like we were back on track. But while this crab was nice and full, the rest of them were a different story. The other 5 crabs were pretty light. This one still had a good amount of meat, but all the other ones had about half that much meat in them. I don't know if it's because I got the last 10 or it just was the time of the month that crabs are running lighter around this area, but I was pretty disappointed. But I will say I was pleasantly surprised that these were $45 for 6 crabs instead of around $60 that a lot of places have been. Okay, I just left Harris Crab House, and the first crab was really good actually, and all the rest of the crabs tasted really good. But out of the 6 that I got, I'd say 4 of them were pretty light. And they were also over $15 cheaper than Mike's Crab House. So I'm kinda stuck about where to put them. The location was nice. The restaurant looked really nice inside. The patio is right on the water, which I loved. It was cool to see all the boats go by and all that kind of stuff. But I'm having a hard time with the light crabs. I can't rank them down at Captain Billy's. And honestly, I think the crabs were better than Mike's Crab House as well. I think I'm going to have to rate these. I think I'm going to have to rate these crabs just above Mike's Crab House. Okay, we're at our final place for today, and I got to be honest, I hope it's better than the other 2, because right now the 2 that I've tried are near the bottom of the list, and I want something in the middle because I feel like people on the Eastern Shore are going to be upset with these ratings. Let's go in and check out the Kentmorr Beach Bar and Grill. Now the Kentmorr Beach Bar and Grill is right there in the Kentmorr Marina, and it's a fairly large marina. There was a lot of people around that were just going to the marina, but it looked like the restaurant was fairly busy as well. I chose to sit outside, and I think the vibe that I would describe it as would be like you're eating in someone's backyard. They even had some cornhole boards set up for you to play while you were waiting. And of course, we got another plastic knife and a crab mallet, some apple cider vinegar, and the crabs came out really quick, like within 5 to 7 minutes. It felt really heavy, and most had the rust on the bottom. Now I must have got some crab mustard on my camera, so I apologize for it being blurry, but let's go ahead and taste this claw to see if they taste as good as they look. I got it all ready to eat, and I gotta say, I was really hopeful for this bite to taste good, and it definitely did. It was the best claw I had all day. Then I went ahead and started picking out the body. And the body meat did not disappoint either. While it wasn't the best crab that I've had overall, I was really happy with how full it was and the taste as well. Well, we definitely ended on a better note. The things that I liked about Kentmorr were, 1, the atmosphere is pretty cool. It was like sitting in someone's backyard and eating crabs. I sat at a picnic table. It was all grass where I was. There was some cornhole and stuff like that too. So that was pretty neat. But we all know the most important thing is the crabs. And when they came out, they look nice and heavy. They look fresh. My only knock that I noticed is the seasoning fell off the shell after it came out. Not a big deal, but still one of those things that you want to see it stick to the shell a little bit more. I cracked open the crabs. They seem hot. They seem fresh. I was happy about that. And they tasted really good. But again, we've had so many good crab restaurants. It's tough to know where to put this. I know that it's above the other ones I've tried today, but I don't know if I can put it above, say, Conrad's or even Schultz's. Now, Schultz's is interesting because it's not on the water. It's a tavern. It's not a feel that everyone would like, but the crabs are cheap, the crabs were good, and the seasoning was actually really unique, and I really liked it. On the other hand, Kentmorr is definitely one of those places that I could see a lot of people thinking is a quintessential crab spot. The seasoning was spot on. It was JO seasoning, it had big rock salt or flake salt in it. So I could see why someone would put that above Schultz's, but for me, I think for my preference, I'm gonna put Kentmorr just below Schultz's at number 7, and that's also above Seabreeze. I feel pretty confident with that one. So don't forget, the last video in this series is gonna be your choice. Right now, like I said, Mr. Bill's Terrace and the Red Roost in Quantico are in the lead. So if you have other ones you want me to go check out, I have a spot from 1, maybe even 2 more restaurants that I'll go ahead and add to this list. Make sure you leave those comments below and like the ones that you want me to go see.